Good morning, this is Kim Watson speaking on Friday the 18th of June. Good morning and welcome to this morning's Outlook. Now, having questions about the equity markets, are they going to roll over? Well, they're showing very small signs if they are, I would say. Now, I'm looking at the bigger market here, the S&Ps, as opposed to I can see that the Dow Jones, this is Dow Jones Index here. That's a delayed feed, but it should be all right. It's the cash market actually. Yes, it's come off more than the S&Ps for sure, and it's rolled over more. Has it got a lot more to come down? No point asking me. It may have. But the question of whether the equity markets themselves are going to fail because of what's these interest rate increases, I think it may be quite temporary in terms of these movements. We've seen, if you put these movements into perspective, if you look at it on a weekly basis, okay, this week's not finished yet, and we might see something more roll over. But even if we saw it rolling down to its 21, when you put it into perspective in terms of what we saw February, March back in 2020. It's just a drop in the ocean. It really is a relatively small market movement at the moment, and of course it could develop into something more, and I think eventually the equity markets might slow down a little bit. But you've got to remember, it's 2023 we're talking about interest rate increases. It's only 2021 at the moment, and so long as the interest rates are as low as they are, these markets aren't too fussed for a while. They've got a bit of mileage still to go in them. Now the big money might start unwinding, but I should imagine most of that unwinding will start closer to the time, because there's still nowhere else for money to earn money in real terms. For the big money to earn money, in my book anyway. So these movements is just to sort of squash the idea that do I feel that there's going to be a huge move in the equity markets. This is a bit like saying no, it's not. We're not going to have a storm or something like this. It's Michael Fish, wasn't it? Did that many years ago. But realistically, these markets. I mean, even yesterday we ended up with an update on where it opened, at least. On the S&Ps, and the S&Ps, the bigger, broader market there is what I'm using as a bit of a guide, and to me this looks still very, very bullish. So yes, Dow Jones still selling off, or has been selling off. It may be finding support where it's sitting at the moment into its monthly S1. Certainly getting a bit of a bounce off that as we look at where it is there. The FTSE. Crikey, I mean, yes, if I'm right on this, actually, this is the cash market, so it's delayed actually and not quite open yet. But when you look at it, it managed an update on Wednesday. There you go, closed an update. Yesterday, well, it's hardly a major sell-off, is it? As I said, we've got to put things into context here. Okay, right, let's look at the other things well, today we've got very little coming out. We've got a Bank of Japan press conference, but it's at 7:30. There's nothing then. Retail sales UK was 7 o'clock, coming disappointing. So let's just get on and look at the technicals of the forex markets here. So at the moment then, euro looking like it's, well, I was wondering on this morning, but it's telling me the answer here is going off again by looks of things. There are some divergences across the lows on and highs on the inverted currencies. So we do have some divergences, but really, whether you're looking at RSI, MACD, or whatever else, if the RSI here really isn't diverging any longer for me, it's worn that off. But I would still be looking at a break of 1926 on this euro, for example, to be starting even thinking about being bullish now. At the moment, these markets are in sell mode. This was, to me, just a bear flag, and well, it is running off. It couldn't hold on to what it was doing. It couldn't extend the flag at that stage. Looking a bit soft at the moment. Post 8 o'clock, well, it might retrace and may see a retracement. We do see complete turnarounds at the moment, looking really bearish. The divergence might start working out post 8 o'clock, so it's certainly got potential there. Cable, well, straight off this morning. It's, I'd say, it's not even 8 o'clock yet, and it too has suddenly, we're seeing this dollar strength coming through the markets. Certainly an uncertainty out there. Certainly an uncertainty. There certainly is. Anyway, markets selling off here. Let's just look at what's happening. There's no divergences there. Just on the 4 hourlies. And well, what would have been there is a divergence on the MACD there, longer running MACD on the pound, but for now it's still, well, it's hit the daily pivot. Actually, it's already hit the daily pivot. It's S1. At this stage, I'm still looking if we get the opportunities on the retracements, maybe to short again. So we'll see. Yen, dollar yen. Well, the dollar yen seeing the money, we're seeing the opposite going on here, and I think this is this sort of move to safety a little bit. We're seeing the yen coming back into being safety mode. It's actually, when you look at what's happened on the bigger time frame here, it's back into its sort of mean where it was running prior to the news. It was working its way, high lows, high highs, but it's just back to that now. We're at a sort of a key point here. If it starts turning around here, or perhaps it might push up for a challenge that the highs there at 110.80, but a break and a close below this area could see a bigger correction, maybe back towards the sort of 109.28 area or more. There we go. That's the yen, Aussie dollar. It's been a very difficult currency to try and day trade for quite some time. It is in a decent downward trend at the moment. Again, it's just getting into a position on some of these markets, and well, the Aussie dollar equally is just selling at the moment. It's had a bit of a correction there earlier on, but selling back off again at this moment. Okay, Canadian dollar still pushing up higher here. We're heading up towards its daily 100. Strong old move up there at this stage. 4 hourly wise, still pushing up, high lows, higher highs. There's nothing looking like it's going to get in the way. Now again, if I cross over to the MACD, and you'll see there's divergences kicking here. Now this is a currency at some stage I want to get back into on the short side, but not going to be rushing into it. But I believe that with the Canadians doing more in terms of tapering, etc., before the US actually happens, I think when it all dawns on everyone, it's still quite a time away. We could see a correction here. Right, that's pretty much it on the currencies there. I've looked at the S&Ps already. We've seen those. They're doing what they're doing there at the moment. Gold. So gold, it's just like everything else at the moment, selling off. It's catching a bit of a bounce at the bottom there. I'm just looking at what's happening here, catching a bit more bounce, but at some point this morning this too could join the party to the downside. We saw it, was it a bit, oh no, it did actually go, I was just looking, it was a bit later. I think some of the other markets moved a bit quicker yesterday when they started going. We'll see how this develops, but this too could continue to the downside then. I'll just watch that post 8 o'clock. Right, oil. So oil still seeing this sort of correction to the downside at the moment. Stronger dollar, weaker oil prices generally. For the oil producers, they're still getting paid in dollars, so they're not too fast, and they're getting more dollars relatively, or their dollar's stronger value. But we generally see oil prices come off when this is happening, and this is just what we're seeing at the moment. But any stalling in the oil price, dollar strength, could see oil switch back again. It's been holding up pretty well. Can't see an opportunity right at this moment, but it's effectively double bottomed, ignoring the spike there. Maybe it's got a bit of an opportunity to get back above that level at where is it, 71.27. A break back above that would be a bit more bullish, and maybe see it get back, have a bit more of a substantial move. Right, that's pretty much it there. The Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is continuing on a mildly downward trend there in comparison to where it was. No real surprise with a stronger dollar there either. I mean, we are looking at Bitcoin futures based in dollars, so not a big surprise there. Ethereum, and looking at a dollar-backed Ethereum version. It's looking a bit off this morning, as is Ripple there, but not massively. But must say Ripple, if anything, sorry, I can bring it up for the guys in the trade room there. If you're looking at Ripple here, just looking along the bottoms there, it looks like it might actually take a further step down. As with Ethereum, it's both of those, they do look like they could be heading south next rather than continuing to the upside. Okay, that's it for me today. I've hopefully answered your question, John, in regarding the equity markets. Yes, they could come off a little bit more, but I'll be surprised if this is the start of something much bigger at the moment. We've got a couple of years before interest rates actually physically increase. Right, okay, there will be a tightening, of course, before then, but that will be a slower process than what we're seeing. Have a great day, great weekend for those in the on the YouTube site. I will speak to you next Monday. Bye for now.